Hello, everyone. I hope you all had an amazing 4th of July and weekend. I hosted, which I love to do, although it is a little bit exhausting. And my son turned 2 on the 2nd, so we celebrated his birthday on the 4th. So I'm sure he feels like he has the coolest birthday parties. Anyways, you guys have been tearing me up in these comments. So let's just say the word together. Ask, 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 ask. I know the word, but I get to run in my mouth and acts come out. I don't even know when I say it, but no offense taken. Thanks for keeping me on my toes because I should not be saying acts because let's just say it's ghetto. Okay, anyways, today we're doing a follow-up on Mamdani's campaign finances. And as I told you last week, there's over $1.6 million in campaign finance irregularities that are tied to NYC mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Now, records were altered twice after they were exposed, and when the cover-up began to unravel, Politico stepped in to run damage control instead of actual journalism. But we've got receipts and the timeline, so buckle up. Welcome to Nelly Miranda. So let's start with the facts. According to a bombshell report from White Collar Fraud, Mamdani's campaign reported over $1.6 million in donations. But 94% of that, let me just say that again, 94% of it was funneled through intermediary Jared McFarland. That's not normal. And when it was flagged, instead of coming clean, Mamdani's team altered their official campaign filings twice. First, they deleted Jared McFarland's name altogether, which they probably suspected was way too suspicious. So then they went back and listed him as having donated only $5,807. And as for the rest of the $1.6 million, it was classified as no intermediary. So they have no clue where it came from. So who was this mysterious conduit? Why were they erased? What were they hiding? In total, over $82,000 was allocated to campaign compliance in Mamdani's budget. So either someone dropped the ball or someone's hiding something.
First of all, let's talk about sources. I downloaded all the information from the New York City Board of Elections website. It's available to the public. It was a 27,000-row spreadsheet, okay? Taking up over 500 pages. I looked at it, both myself, I said, what, there's something wrong here. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe whatever. There's no way that every dollar came from bundlers.
A bundler is a person who is a professional.
Raises money for the candidate, right? So I go and I run it through. I run it through Excel's tools. I run it through 3 different AIs, and I came up with the same conclusion. And then I still didn't trust the AIs. I did it again. So basically, you have 27,600 and something lines, okay? 70 of them or so were not attributed to bundlers, and the total from those lines was zero.
Zero.
Zero, zero, zero. Now, when you look at it, you say, okay, the guy has 4.5 million people on social media between YouTube, Instagram, Twitter ex-Twitter, and Facebook and whatever, right? And they all tell you, go to the Mamdani campaign website, where, you go and you fill out a form and you donate money. And the form, if you look at the source code, which I did, okay, look at the source code, the money goes right to New York City Votes. Who keeps track? Was it bundled money? Was it this? Was it that? Right? Now, based upon the data, okay, all of those commercials, all of that beautiful media coverage that he gets, they slobber over him. Based on all of that, the social media stuff, his scripted appearances, not a single dime ends up in his campaign coffers as a result of all of his appearances. It's all bundled money. Now, it's kind of like a TV show with great ratings. They play the commercials, but nobody buys the product. He's a lab rat, okay? He was engineered in the lab, made for television, okay? But he gets no grassroots results as far as it concerns money. His bundler raised, one single bundler raised 94% of the $1.7 million that he raised from his base. He had another $1.9 million that he raised from PACs on top of that. This is not a grassroots candidate.
Now, here's where it gets even worse. After the financial filings were exposed and altered, you'd expect major outlets to investigate it, right? Wrong. Enter in Politico, who ran a piece that confirmed that the records were changed, but then they downplayed the significance of it. So let me read the part from Politico's article in which they talk about why the numbers were changed. So it says, Mamdani's funny money. Mamdani's campaign deleted the name of the intermediary that had been credited in a campaign finance report with raising more than $1.6 million for the campaign, or 94% of the total contributions to the Democratic mayoral nominee. The filing had drawn attention from Mamdani critics, but it turns out Jared McFarland isn't single-handedly driving the Mamdani fundraising machine. It was a clerical error by the New York City Campaign Finance Board, and he actually only helped raise about $6,000. According to documents provided by the Mamdani campaign and a spokesperson for the Action Lab where McFarland works as a development associate. This was a data entry error, pure and simple, which will soon be fixed. Tina Habib of the Action Lab wrote in an email to Playbook. McFarland works at the nonprofit organization that billed itself as a strategy center for left-leaning social movements, but he raised money on his own personal time and not for the nonprofit, she said. A NYCCFB staffer said the issue was caused by a glitch in our system, and it was fixed Wednesday per an email Mamdani campaign spokesperson Andrew Epstein provided to Playbook. A spokesperson for the NYCCFB declined to comment, but confirmed that McFarland's name had been removed as an intermediary. Really? A clerical oversight. A $1.6 million discrepancy involving altered public documents is just an oversight. What? Like, this is a media bailout. When the left's chosen candidates are caught in a scandal, legacy media turns into a public relations firm. This is nothing but narrative control. And some people will really sit there and go, well, people make mistakes. Like, that's ludicrous. So let's step back. This matters beyond New York City because Zohran Mamdani isn't just any candidate. He's a Democratic socialist who just beat out Andrew Cuomo in the mayoral primary. His platform includes tax hikes, rent cancellation, free transportation, free child care, government-ran stores, etc. So in his campaign, allegedly fueled by funds routed through an unlisted source and now twice altered after public scrutiny, and the media is covering up for him. Because we've watched the left preach transparency, fairness, and protecting democracy and then bury $1.6 million in mysterious cash, dodge campaign finance rules, and get a softball write-up from Politico. This is not just hypocrisy, this is corruption. So the timeline goes as follows. So from June 27th to the morning of July 2nd, the filings were stable, showing $1.6 million attributed to McFarland. Then, right after a reporter contacted the campaign on July 2nd, the number dropped to 0, a complete disappearance. And then, later that same afternoon, on July 2nd, just $5,807 reappeared under McFarland's name. The real question is, who was the intermediary then? Why did Mamdani's team initially list them, then delete them twice? Was the New York City Campaign Finance Board aware of these back and forth filings? And why hasn't the media pushed for answers? I feel like there needs to be a full investigation into Mamdani's campaign finances, not a third rewrite of the filings. The Campaign Finance Board has to be held accountable. Why were these irregularities only fixed after independent media reported them? We need to challenge the media because when outlets like Politico act as political bodyguards instead of watchdogs, they deserve to be called out. At the end of the day, this isn't about left or right. It's about right and wrong. Zohran Mamdani's campaign altered records twice, and Politico didn't report it. They spun it. Now, do you think Mamdani should be investigated? And should Politico issue a correction? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if honest commentary brings you value, please make sure you like and subscribe, as it really helps support the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.